Welcome back to a new video. So my upload schedule will hopefully still be pretty similar. Just a lot of the time I'll have to work on videos or create them on the weekends since now I'm back to school and well, not as a student but as a teacher. So still full time, of course, and days are a lot busier and training and lifting is obviously a priority. So we'll still try to make sure that I'm staying consistent with this. I did turn game sounds on. I was playing on my other file. Made a Guardians file with just the default settings and was playing with that a little bit when I had some extra time during the week. But I don't know. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I go back and forth. But we get a single here with Miguel. And the ground out's going to advance in a second. And Harper Meadows is up, and he's going to hit a single, which is going to score the first run of the game. As you saw in the beginning, we're still in second place. We're still in the thick of the things as far as the wild card race goes. So we are still doing quite well as a team. Leadoff walk for Drew. Our pitching is also pretty good. I think everyone has under a 4 ERA, which... Oh, I guess that's it. Okay, that was a double. We'll take it. That's not a good start for our pitcher as far as the amount of pitches he had to throw. I was also looking as well. See, like right now, the game sounds are already starting to be annoying to me. I'm going to turn them down. Please do let me know if the like I can turn the desktop audio. I'm going to do that a little bit. So it should be a little bit different now. Like the audio of the mic, I'm going to turn that up a little bit, and then the desktop audio down. So at this point, it should be pretty balanced, I would think. But we'll see. Sounds a little better in my ear, but sometimes it's the balancing after can be a little wonky. He has 3 walks in the first inning, but he pitches a much more efficient second inning. So we have 1 run on 3 hits. But yeah, looking at the other file, I always look at kind of different things to kind of like experiment with and to see as far as like what players to get and what things to do. Because I don't typically obviously go through every game individually. It's more of the general simulations. Must be it. I wonder if that's a Nationals thing. But we have 2 runs now, and then a double play. But just like experimenting to see like where to put players in lineups, what statistics matter for the simulation purposes, and just I guess being more proactive in things. Before, when I would do these different files, I would simulate like 1 week at a time, and now I still, or like, even if I'm not doing the experiment that I'm doing here, and seeing what happens when you kind of go through all the games and give up 2 runs, but I am trying to see like if I go game by game, like making more quicker adjustments, particularly to hitting, but even to like pitching as well. If you see guys are struggling, just kind of moving guys around, and less of up and down in like AAA to the majors, but more so like you have a starting pitching that's struggling, and then put them in the bullpen and let someone else have an opportunity to come up and have a starter. And it seems to honestly be working pretty well. I found like you can give a younger guy an opportunity for a little bit, and sometimes they develop really quick when they have their, or at least they play really well initially, and they have that there. But then one thing I've noticed as well is I always max out the developmental budget, and after a couple of seasons, you kind of find that you just have a excess amount of players that are ready to come up to the major league level, which is a good problem to have. Um, but it does kind of prevent or allow you a kind of a smaller team, which is generally what I play with as the Guardians, to save money because you have backup and bench players and extra pitchers and stuff like that. But it tends to you have kind of have an excess. I kind of wish it was easier to trade those players because it tends to be when they don't have the major league experience or anything that they don't really get much interest as far as trade bait. But I feel like a lot of times they get to a point that's they're good enough to where they would warrant a trade at least from their skill, but they don't have the major league experience. I did notice as well, so we got a leadoff double there, and Chandler Simpson advances the runner. I did notice that I brought up a guy who did not have any major league experience and played for 20, 30 games or whatever, and then sent him back down because he would play really well at first and then got really cold. But then there was teams that were interested in trading for him. So I wonder if that would be something that I could experiment with, is bringing up guys that don't have that major league experience, and then he's on 170 pitches. It's a good thing I paid attention to that. Bringing up guys to get a major league experience, and then seeing if they are more tradable after that, if I don't really need them, particularly like guys at the end of the season. Single up there. I'll turn that down just a little bit. But I wonder if like that triggers the game to be more interested in a player when they have the major league experience. I mean, logically that makes sense. That they wouldn't want to just trade for minor league players that don't have any professional experience at the highest level. I don't know if we're going to win this one. Down a run. Top of the ninth. Fly out. 1 out single. Ryan Rocchio gets a walk. Chandler Simpson isn't hit into a fielder's choice. I think we do need to try to steal with him. Miguel Vargas, time to clutch up, and he does not. So, unfortunately, our offense didn't do too well. Our pitching actually did well for the most part. 3 runs. I would take that from our pitchers every single day. You hope your offense does a little bit more than that, but unfortunately, that is not the case. So, just a little update about the wildcard race. We are 3 games up from the 3rd wildcard spot, so we're pretty secure in this area. Still about, looks like, 3 full games back from the Athletics for the top wildcard spot, and 8.5 from the Yankees, so they are still playing quite well. But yeah, and it's also, I mean, this is one reason I wanted to try to do this for at least, for a season, just to see like the statistical anomalies that would happen for, obviously Chandler Simpson is probably the biggest one that I've talked about the most, which is the amount of stolen bases. I mean, just having 180. So, as far as like statistics go, it's probably not the most realistic thing to do, because you can really push the boundaries of what's possible for guys like Chandler. Anytime they get on base, you just force them to steal, and it just makes it kind of unrealistic. So it looks like Lane Thompson. I haven't played in a week, and I still will remember to call his name incorrectly. No runs on a walk. Spencer Howard is up, so he's kind of a perfect example of what I've done with other files. Is like I get someone that's just an average pitcher and give him an opportunity to pitch. Get a start. He pitches well, then he continues, and if he has a couple starts that are bad, then you just throw him back in the bullpen. But guys that aren't really like super high potential or super high skill, like he's 29 and he's a 2.5 star, so he's, you can kind of find those guys around, but sometimes they perform really well in simulation, and so you just kind of keep rocking with them. And Spencer's probably, there's many Spencer Howards. But you can kind of do it with guys that are younger and have that potential, because sometimes they just pop off and kind of explode from whatever potential is there. I kind of wish also that, I think one, I have one pitcher for the Guardians, and he is a 2.5 star, and he pitches really well. But I kind of wish that like a whole good season of good pitching would push your rating up a little bit more aggressively. Like I wish there was more responsive, especially after a full season of like 3.5 ERA pitching. Like I feel like you should be a full 3-star at least, or have more changes as far as your rating goes. I don't know if there's an ability to change that necessarily, but I feel like that would be more realistic. Because say the Spencer Howard guy, if he randomly gets an opportunity in real life and then he throws a really good season, the next version of his game is going to have him rated higher. So like the game naturally will do that itself, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case for him, as he gives up a home run to Luis Garcia. So it looks like we're going to have to score a run today, which is always the case, I suppose. Chandler Simpson just stealing all over the bases. Lane Thomas strikes out swinging, and a 2-run home run, so we take the lead back. 110 exit velocity with 428 feet, so he had a absolute bomb there. We'd love to see that. So 2 out hits for us, but that is going to be it. Oh, clicked a little too fast. And I'm also, right now, just going, well, swinging away, so I'm not taking any pitches. But I'm also just pitching at every batter. So I don't know if that makes a difference. I feel like it helps you throw less total pitches, but it could be just a feeling that I have. I'm not sitting here and measuring how many pitches, but I feel like it works a little bit better. Gives back the lead that he just got. See if he can get through another inning. So that's certainly something they added in the update. I gotta turn that down a little bit because that is like the regular, like this sound right here, just the sound of the stadium. I don't mind. Let's see if actually I can look at the options and we can look at it together. Music volume. We're gonna turn that to 10. I think that's ambient, noise frequency. We don't have the fireworks. We do have the horn on. Okay. There we go. We should be okay now, so I should be able to turn the volume back up. That sound was, or that music or whatever, was super loud and kind of annoying. Brandon Lowe gets a single here. Parker Meadows is going to fly out. And Ronnie Mauricio is going to pop out there. So we're still tied at 2. Spencer Howard's at 96 pitches. He's going to give up a leadoff double. So unfortunately, he's not going to pitch any more this game. We have a couple guys we can bring in. I feel like it's time for, I was thinking Phil, but we're here. We can bring in John. See if he can get through this inning. David Fry. So nothing happening for us. We'll let John pitch another inning. Gives up a single. Gives up another single. Gets a second out. And we will bring in... We could bring Garrett Clevenger, but he does have some energy that he has used. And Tim Herron is all fresh. So we're bringing the lefty matchup, and it doesn't work out for us. We got 2 runs like we did last game, but we're going to need a third if we're going to be able to win this game. So Tim Harris is going to get a leadoff single. With the first out, second out, and third out. Brandon Lowe with the home run earlier, and I believe a single as well. It's going to be the first out. Parker is going to strike out, and Ronnie Mauricio is going to strike out as well. So Tim Herron is at 19 pitches. He's pitching against the bottom of the lineup, so we're going to let him give up the leadoff double. A single. The runner gets to there. I kind of don't want to leave Tim in. We're going to bring in Chapman for the last guy and hope that he's able to work it out, and he gives up a single. So we lose both games in a row, or 2 games in a row, 3-2, which is kind of unfortunate. So you kind of hate to see that, but now we're down 9 games. Our lead above Baltimore is still 3.5 games, so at least they're not playing well. Seems like our wild card spot is pretty secure unless we have a total collapse, but our offense is been stymied the last 2 games. So that's going to be it for this one. Let me know about the sound adjustments, if it wasn't bad on your end or if it's just me, because sometimes the sound in the actual video is not bad when I upload it, but it's like really loud when I'm listening to it, or vice versa. It could be the opposite. So always let me know about that kind of stuff, because I can make adjustments on my end if it is too quiet or too loud or whatever. So that's it for now. Talk to you on the next one. Have a great day. Peace.